Tax and tags. That's just $17,999.
At 10 and a half after 9 o'clock. Here now, some of the late headline stories we're following for you in the Imus in Washington Network newsroom.
I'm David Brinkley of ABC News. I'm Walter Cronkite of AARP News.
And I'm Don Imus of my own network, not AB or NB nothing. You got a problem with that?
Before we get to our Sunday program, here are some late-breaking news stories. And this one, startling, just into our news center. In what is easily the most bizarre twist yet to an increasingly complicated story, it's just been announced in New York that the Mets outfielder, Vince Coleman, has been arrested as one of the conspirators in the World Trade Center bomb and the subsequent plot to blow up other New York City landmarks. Government agents say Coleman had actually been rehearsing his role in the scheme when he threw that incendiary device at fans outside Dodger Stadium Saturday. Coleman was picked up early today at an abandoned safe house in the borough of Queens, Shea Stadium. In Washington, in an informal chat with reporters, President Clinton has reviewed the process by which he finally settled on a nominee for the Supreme Court. The president said a short list of 874 equally qualified candidates was narrowed to one when he acted firmly and resolutely on his own without peripheral input. Here's how the president recalled the moment. Easiest thing in the world. Just got this here lucky $50, see, and give her a good flip. Heads, it's old Babbitt or somebody. Tails, it's, the one who's been up there in front of that committee. What's her face with the three names? Sharon Pratt Kelly or Billie Jean King? No, that ain't it. Oh, yeah, Babe Ruth Ginsburg. That's it. That's how I like them, with three names and big breasts. Like my wife, Hillary Hot Rod Clinton. Wait a minute. That's four, ain't it? Well, whatever. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, in the Middle West, disaster became calamity overnight as areas of flood-ravaged Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri were hit with 236 inches of additional rain, merging every river in the region into a new geographical feature, the long-sought Atlantic-Pacific Canal. Among the people addressing the Midwest flood of the century, a critic of government relief efforts there, H. Ross Perot, who appeared last night on the CNN program, Larry King Can't Suck Enough.
Larry, it's just sad. What's all the fuss about? It's water. Little kids take baths in it. No, sir, you have to look at adversity like I always have if you're going to get anywhere, as an opportunity. What do you have out there, an inland sea drowning everything? Not on your mud flipper, son. What's Ross Perot see out there? He sees whale watches in Wichita and Perillo cruises to Kankakee. Why does everybody always have to be so damn negative? Get your swimming suit and your snorkel and go for it. It's water. You're not going to melt. Just say, crops gone, but surf's up. Let's take some world-class calls, Larry. I like that. Hello, Des Moines. You're on the air. Handy waste.
It's 13 after 9 on 9:13 in New York, and I am Imus in the morning. Well, now this bill
2020 sports.
More problems in the Met Clubhouse. Good morning. This is Mike Bain with sports. Sports sponsored by CompUSA.
First there was the firecrackers, then squirting Clorox. Now the latest war between Met players and the media. An all-out brawl last night after a 5-4 win over the Marlins at Shea. Fortunately, it was broken up quickly. As for those fireworks in the clubhouse a couple of months back, Brett Saberhagen was the man who did it, and he apologized for the incident yesterday. Saberhagen says he has to keep higher standards for the kids.
There's a lot of people that actually run the bases. Because I tried to hit third base too fine and almost took it on my face. I almost bust my ass. Now that would have been something.
Mets have now won 3 games in a row, and more importantly, they're just 7 games back of the Marlins in that battle in the NL East. And that's sports. I'm Mike Breen.
Well, we'd like to welcome now over from the Archdiocese here in New York. John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning. With the either the New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, or some lotto numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning and God bless. Been a long time, Mr. Norris.
Yes, it has.
Not long enough, you bag of dirt, you.
It's a fine.
Monsignors and myself been doing a little biblical research.
Oh, I bet you have.
Trying to find out the real reasons the Jews wandered the desert for 40 years.
Yes.
Finally found out, Mr. Lamar.
Oh, what was it?
Somebody dropped a quarter and they couldn't find it.
We don't. I don't think we need
The winning numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
Oh, okay.
You having a good summer, Mr. Lamar?
Yes, I'm having a fine summer, Cardinal.
Enjoy, fella. From the looks of you, it's probably your last summer, Jesus. House Speaker Tom Foley has tighter facial skin than you. You cadaver, you Jesus. The Daily Number.
Yeah.
A
Have you invited Eileen, Bruin, and Lou and the fellas up to your Southport home for a barbecue yet? I missed them on.
I thought we were going to do the numbers.
Have you ever invited them up to your Southport home for a barbecue yet, boy?
No, I haven't.
Well, don't. They hate you. The only home they'd enjoy a visit with you in is a funeral home.
I know.
Subhuman schmuck, you.
I don't know.
The daily number.
Fine.
579.
Yeah.
The I-man's taking his verbal diarrhea national, are you, boy?
Yes?
Good. Maybe now we'll hear less about the Nairobi Knicks and more with the Celtics. Maybe some white fellas, be Jesus.
That will be fine. I don't think that we have to get into that, Cardinal.
I tell you what, about Vince Coleman, be Jesus. If he wasn't stealing bases with the Mets, he'd be stealing cars outside Yankee Stadium, be Jesus. Speaking of Nairobi, that's why no one goes there, be Jesus. The win-fall number, 9434. They'll be fighting it out with that low-class heave Howard Stern around the country, will you, Mr. Marn?
Something like that, yes.
How are you going to compete when he puts his 3 hook-nosed daughters on the air for lesbian dial-a-day?
I don't think that's...
Brings in his bovine wife to play bestiality dial-a-day for some thing. Well, you talk with snotty fossils like Sally Quinn.
You leave Sally Quinn alone.
The likes of Tim Russett from Meet the Left-Wing Pig. You really
Tim
rotten
Russell.
hell, the whole lot of you. The pay numbers is as follows.
This is always a mistake, isn't it? It's always a mistake. Even though you'd think you'd learn, and then everything. Now let's do the Cardinal.
Shut up.
Fine, go ahead.
The Pick 10 numbers is as follows.
All right, what are they?
Before we get to the Pick 10 numbers,
All right.
in honor of the I-Man going national,
Yeah.
we put together a little limerick.
Oh, great.
Gather around the radio, boys and girls.
Here we go.
We'll call it Imus in the U.S.
Okay.
Real clever, McCord, Jesus.
Don't blame this on McCord, no.
Imus in the U.S. Live from New York, it's the loose-skinned dark. In D.C. and Boston, he can now be heard. It's Imus in the Morn, the vile turd. They say he's interesting, funny, and smart. But I say he's a dull, stupid old fart. He pats his own back and talks to Brother Fred. Listen to the I-Man? I'd rather be dead. Breen and McCord French kiss his butt. I'd sooner eat flies in a Somalian hut.
That would be fine.
So check out Imus while he beats his sagging chest. And see if you too don't want him laid to rest, Jesus. I tell you that. You're a sickening bastard, you.
First of all, my chest is not sagging.
The Pick 10 numbers is as follows. 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 17, 25, 27, 29, 38, 39, 40, 45, 48, 50, 56, 57, 58, 71, 75.
Thank you very much, Cardinal O'Connor. Always great to see you.
I understand you have a new book coming out, hey, Mr. Marr.
Well, in about a year, yes.
All right. Which is the Malong and Why?
Oh, yeah, okay. Which is the long one?
Which is the Malong and Why?
All right.
These would be book titles.
Okay.
A, The Great Gas Bag.
The great guest.
B, The Idiot and the Odd Pussy.
The idiot and the odd pussy.
C, How to Suck and Make $3 million a year. Which is the Malong and Why?
I would say how to suck it. Make $3 million a year doesn't belong.
Wrong, you two-legged ghost, are you? Well, all three are working title for the I-Man's forthcoming book from Simon & Schuster.
No, it's not from Simon & Schuster.
Whatever, boy.
It's from Doubleday.
B. The answer is B. The Idiot and the Odd Pussy doesn't belong because unlike The Great Gas Bag and How to Suck and Make $3 million a year,
Yeah.
The Idiot and the Odd Pussy could be a working title for Donald Trump and Marla Maples' new book, which doesn't count.
John Cardinal O'Connor here on the Listen to Morning program, which is always a hideous mistake.
Oh, jeez.
And you refuse to learn your lesson. Oh, I've learned now. I've absolutely learned now. Weather all up and down the East Coast, sunny, hot, and humid today. Thunderstorms likely. Coming by strong gusty winds and heavy downpours up around 95, something like that. Is probably around 75, something like that.
78.
As you know, the Secretary of Defense has delivered to the President the Pentagon's recommended policy regarding homosexuality and our military establishment. While these matters are still being debated in the halls of Congress, change has already occurred. In brief, military recruiters are no longer going to be able to ask you anything about your sexual orientation. For your part, you cannot tell anybody you're homosexual. And why is that? Because nobody wants to hear it. That's why, including me. Now, as you may recall, I was once reprimanded for slapping a young soldier who exhibited cowardice. It doesn't take a very vivid imagination to conjure what my reaction would have been if, in addition to being a sissy, he had attempted to get a lip lock on my trouser howitzer. I'm still trying to frame this new policy in terms that your command structure can most effectively implement. A major point to be resolved is, if no one asks you whether you're homosexual, and you don't tell anybody,
How, then, do we determine when we should pull your pants down around your ankles and send you out onto the parade ground at 2 o'clock in the morning, sucking your thumb like the sob-sister pants-load you are, wearing a sign around your neck that says, "Beware of Greeks bearing Trojans"? As you have read, while we may not ask and you may not tell, you are nevertheless permitted to go to gay bars, keep photographs of your lovers in your footlocker, and participate in gay rights demonstrations. If at that point you had not violated the don't tell provision of the policy, I don't think you'd really need to, in order for your platoon sergeant to determine that you are a down-in-flames screeching fruit salad, keeping house off post with a friend named Brad who spends long hours trying to toilet train his f***ing cat. I don't care what anybody says. Military service and a soldier who would rather sit on his rifle than carry it are not compatible. This is a politically incorrect position, but political incorrectness is making a comeback. If you must join an organization that requires a uniform, look into the priesthood. They're always looking for a few good men. Until then, final words to the wise. Don't ask. Don't tell. Don't join up. Because in George Patton's army, if it goes in pink and hard and comes out soft and sticky, it better be bubble gum. That is all.
Imus in the morning.
The Lincoln.
Right now and go get it done. Boy, you think you're talking good, bald-headed Scrooge. What the hell's the matter with you? Talk that way to the I-Man. What are you, nuts?
The chump better show some respect. Talk to the I-Man like that.
Angela shows up at 9 o'clock, and can you find her? No! Get in here! Get in here! Get out! Come in! Get out!
Gone too far!
The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule. An indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled this station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume tomorrow morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
2020 Sports on the Fan means you'll get all the scores.
I'm Mike Breen, WFAN 2020 Sports, the number one sports voice in New York.
And good morning, everybody. It is 10:04 on the Fan. Mike Lupick here with you. We are out at Shea Stadium today. It's about as festive at 10 o'clock in the morning as it will be about the fourth inning today as the Mets are playing the Marlins. Up after the update.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
And the number one sports voice in New York.
Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN. New York.
It is 12:04 on the Fan, and the hi-ho opening is not the opening for this show, Bill.
Up tonight on the Fan.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Hey, Yankee fan. And that's what's happening. This is John Minko with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football. Are you tired of your current job?
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
All right, 6:05. Francesco and the Fan Dog's on vacation. He'll be back on Monday.
Mike and the Mad Dog on Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
All right, 6:56. Wrapping things up on a Thursday. Some is Faberhagen. We'll get that cleared up. A lot of baseball as we head towards the weekend. Last day for me before I hit the vacation. Dog will be back Monday. Have a good evening.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
This
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan. It's a special edition of How It Rolls, Bagels and Baseball, as we celebrate Reggie Jackson's induction into the Hall of Fame. Brought to you by NYNEX and exclusively on Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Sports on WFAN, the radio home of the Birdman, and the #1 sports voice in New York.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
7:04 on The Fan. Good evening, everybody. Ian Eagle with you till 12 o'clock, and then Steve Summers, Captain Midnight, comes your way then. So stay tuned. A lot to do in between now and then. We'll be talking to you at 718-937-6666. A number of guests, and we'll go over the entire menu for you. Coming up, of course, they will include your phone calls, and we'll pop around baseball, football, legal issues, you name it. We're going to cover it for you right here on Sports Radio 60.
Right now, it's 84 degrees under clear skies in Central Park. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the #1 sports voice in New York.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
9:05 on The Fan. Hour number 3 is underway on a Thursday night here in New York City. Ian Eagle taking you until 12 o'clock. Phone lines are open for you at 718-937-6666. Anything on your mind, including baseball, whatever's left of this Vince.
Sports leader, Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
9:16 on The Fan, moving along very nicely on a Thursday evening here in New York. Ian Eagle here until 12 o'clock at 718-9.
2020.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
9:57 on The Fan. Welcome back. Ian Eagle taking you until 12 o'clock. George, throw and throw some more.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
Just because you're at a... Now, 83 degrees under clear skies in Central Park. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the #1 sports voice in New York.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
10:05 on The Fan. Welcome back. Hour number 4 is underway. Ian Eagle with you till 12 o'clock. And we'll have more phone calls coming up at 718-937-6666. It's been a mixed bag tonight, including the Vince Coleman story, as that can...
Timeless in the morning. 2020 Sports. Vince Coleman speaks. Good morning, this is Mike Williams. The Mets outfielder accused of throwing a firecracker at a group of fans outside Dodger Stadium has...
Not a firecracker. This punk threw an M80, which is about a quarter of a stick of dynamite. So much more substantial than a simple little icky lady finger Connie Chung firecracker.
The Mets outfielder accused of throwing a...
Yours, whoops, there it is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Well, where what is?
Well,
You lose something and just find it, man?
no, not exactly.
Well, where was it?
Well,
Where is it now?
I don't know.
You say there it is, but I don't see nothing.
Fine.
I'm confused. Hey, I heard that if the Mets fire Vince Coleman, he's already got a job offer.
Really?
From the Grucci family. Guess what?
What?
I'm going to be at Woodstock. That 25-year anniversary show they're doing.
Really?
I'm there, man. And they're going all kinds of trouble to really recreate the magic of the original event.
Yeah.
So needless to say, guess who's going to volunteer to collect all that bad brown acid from the crowd? I'm telling you, man, 20 minutes into my first set, I'll be naked up on a speaker. Hey, I just got me a bottle of that Vital K stuff because, you know, I got a date tonight and I want to be ready, if you know what I mean.
I understand, Roger.
But I just shot some of it up and nothing is, whoa. Hey, whoops, there it is. I meant to ask you something.
Yeah.
Did I hear right yesterday your secretary there had her bubbies worked on?
Yeah.
She had them saline implants?
Yeah.
So, like, this may sound like a stupid question, but if I held one of them up to my ear, could I hear the ocean?
Well, yeah, the right one
That's the one that apparently is causing the problems, and that it's substantially larger than the left one, isn't it? Apparently, for crying out loud. Anyway, I am Imus of the Morning, and this is WFAN in New York. It's time for the news, and here with all that is my friend Charles McCoy. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning. 74 degrees after 9 o'clock.
Well, a radio stud, king of the breed. He's got no life, don't do the deed. He's got no woman taking care of his need, because all he does is read. Hey, I'm man. King of rock and roll here, son. Begging you to just say no. 90 newsstands in 90 days. Admit you got a problem, Hoss. Hello, my name is Imus. I'm a moron and an ink addict. This may hurt some, son, but you are f***ing killing us. When did it become necessary for you to read and or be in every paper on the planet? Jesus. About the only ones I can figure that ain't done a story on you yet is Mandate and Blue Boy, which will be coming around, of course, just as soon as Congress gets rid of that gays in the military issue and moves on to gays in broadcasting, you flips. Hey, I wonder if they'll be kissing up as much as that chick who wrote that pastry piece on you in the Washington Post.
Wait a minute.
Where will you be meeting her next? At the Kew Gardens Inn?
No.
Oh, maybe that place you've been advertising, that inn at Ramsey, off of some Booker Highway in New Jersey. Reminded me of places me and old Priscilla used to sign in, man. Roman showers, jungle rooms, you know, where they leave a mint on your pillow and a can of black fly. Anyway, just how much do you have to know, son? Drop a subscription or two, huh? You're going to go blind reading all this crap, plus jerking your gherkin, you know? I can't speak for your listeners, man, but this is one old boy who is up to here with all of your columnist buddies.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, develop an interest, will you? Go for a drive, cross-dress, whack your mule some more, anything. Hey, I bet when you do, you leave big old black fingerprints on it, huh? As a connoisseur, by the way, what's best when you yank your shank?
Well,
the style section of the Times or the style section of the Post, you fruit salad? Damn, son. I can remember back when you used to could ride a Harley with one hand and drain a Heineken truck with the other. What happened to you? Now the only thing you wrap a fist around, other than your noodle, is something called Snapple Snap-Up. Sipping daintily while you check to see what Anna Quinlan wants you to think. Ain't no wonder Mary Matlin and Jane Wallace sent you some satin short sauce. You do still test negative, don't you? Let me get on out of here before I don't. Let's see now. From radio stud to radio press. Has to sit down when he takes up. Can't get up on it unless it's broder-induced. Where he used to say now it says abstruse. Hey, man, put that paper down. If the bastard knew how, he'd read with his eye that's brown. Oh, shut up.
Imus in the morning.
see, Bernard Supreme and my main man Louie. We kicking the flow that goes a little something like this. Ah, man, back again. Radio icon, let's begin. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. Imus in the house, jump, rejoice. Boner over here, a boner over there. Stick your breasts in the air, shake your derriere. These three words when they're getting busy. That is hit me. Down and inside out. I'm just going to show you what it's all about. Now it's time for him to get on the mic and make this hideous morning hype. He's taking you back to the old school, because he's an old fool who's so cool. If you want to get down, he can show you the way. There it is. Let me hear you say. Richard Nixon, Roger Clinton, Elvis, Walter Cronkite, David Brinkley, Mary Matlin, Kinky, Janet Reno, Fatso, Scotto, Ross Perot, and Delbert, Thistle Hawkins, Mr. Limbaugh, Reverend Hargis, Free. Point blank, he liked the tenderonies. NAB gave him 2 Marconis. Check the mirror. Extra skin. Under his neck, better tuck it in. Slam dunk it, stick it, rip it and hide. That's D-U-R-K-E-N-Y. Ooh, that's it. Come on. There it is, Uncle Don. Crazy was she pushing up dicks. Even his brother Fred wished that Imus was dead. Demanding. His ego always is expanding. Ooh, snap. This to management. Our producer say, hey, Mr. President, you want to come on the air with Mr. Cool? Here's a shovel. Can you dig it, fool?
We can dig it.
Can you dig it?
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 We can dig it.
800-272 is, 1957 for El Paso T-shirt or a mug. Making them bucks every time he plugs. His skill blow ill on Capitol Hill. That's the thrill of the microphone he just killed. Party people is a party on the radio. Hope that is, thought you'd like to know. Come on, yo. You bet. My man. Mama. Austin. Mama. Mama. Yeah, I'm in the morning, come straight at you. Excuse me, DC, the brain supreme, and his name's Don Imus. Bring it back, y'all, bring it back, y'all, bring it back. Here we go.
Get out of here. That'll do. 23 after 9. Imus and Maloney weather all up and down the east.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports.
Places his fingers in the ball. Now cradles it in front of him. A strike here, and he'll win the match.
Idiot.
Here he goes. There it is. A strike for Weber. He wins the PBA Memorial. Action heating up in the lanes. Good morning. Mike Brain with sports. Mike Albee taking a commanding lead at the PBA's Wichita Open. Taking a commanding lead at the PBA's Wichita Open.
Scranton, huh?
There's no Amish. I don't know where you got that from. That's in Lancaster.
Oh, that's right. That's where
we have a lot of ethnics.
That's where my ex-wife is from, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is the reason I like to go down there and blow that place up. No, that's not true. She was a lovely woman.
What's her name? Cleopatra?
How long have you owned the station?
I've been.
I'm David Brinkley of the important ABC News program, This Week with David Brinkley.
I am Walter Cronkite. I used to be.
We know what you used to be. So why go into it?
Well, a lot of people there.
Nobody knows. Nobody cares.
Some of the younger audience might not recall when I was there every night sitting there giving the news.
You're not now.
America's favorite.
Just say, I'm Walter Cronkite.
I'm Walter Cronkite.
And then just leave it at that.
And then just leave it at that.
No, just say I'm Walter Cronkite.
I'm Walter Cronkite.
And I'm Don Imus, eclipsing the very term important in my new prominence.
Before we get to the late-breaking news, here are some events that have just happened.
Oh, good.
In Israel, a further clarification today from the Israeli Supreme Court regarding its decision to overturn the war crimes conviction of John Demjanjuk. The tribunal's chief justice said that Demjanjuk, it now turns out, was mistaken for a notorious Nazi criminal years ago as a result of a garbled communique in which he was identified as Ivan the Terrible, when the message should have read, Ivan the not all that bad, who, though physically repugnant, just sort of stood around trying to help.
Meanwhile, at the White House, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, one of the leading figures in the effort to pass President Clinton's deficit reduction package, appeared with the president at an impromptu news conference moments ago after a late-night brainstorming session. Mr. Clinton was positive and assured.
I'm happy to announce to y'all that we are going to get there. And I'm sure Senator Moynihan would concur with that. Right, Senator?
With all due speed, 6-cent increase. Not 5, not 4, not 3 or 2 or 1. 6, or maybe more. There's the ticket. Great.
Right, Senator Moynihan. You're drooling. Anyway, we've been in communication with Chairman Rostenkowski right through the night.
A thief, a great big bear of a bumbling burglar.
Yes, sir. Anyway, it looks like all our differences are narrowed to a point now that they're negligible. Right, Senator Moynihan?
Wrong, fatso. Wouldn't make a pimple on a gnat's ass. Let's go. What are we waiting for? It's 4th and 10. 4th and 10. We've got to respond to an anxious public.
Has anybody got a towel? A frequent critic of the Clinton White House has spoken out on the president's decision to possibly use American air power to protect United Nations forces in Bosnia. H. Ross Perot offered a controversial alternative during his latest appearance last night on the CNN program Larry King Sycophant.
Larry, we're going to get ourselves into your morass over there. Ought to try something a little less heavy-handed first. Now I've stood back, looked at the problem, sniffed it, felt it, grabbed it by the butt, and the answer's simple. Vince Coleman. Let's break it down. He's a world-class jerk. Mets want to get rid of him. The boys proved he can throw into a crowd. Give him a couple of crates of hand grenades, send him over to Sarajevo, throw it to them damn Serbs. I've never known anybody more expendable, unless it's Bonilla. And ain't it just sad that a jackass like that manager fella is named Dallas? It makes me sick. Hey, look out, Larry. Your hair just slid off into your coffee. You're making me sick.
And finally, another difficult day for the First family, following the apparent suicide late last night of Sox the cat. Compounding the tragedy, White House spokesperson Dee Myers said Sox committed the act in a particularly violent way, crawling inside a microwave oven in the White House mess and pressing power level 1 before slamming the door on herself. Ms. Myers said Sox appeared distressed after the White House announced that the cat would begin personally answering its own fan mail. Evidently, though few knew it, Sox had suffered for years from carpal tunnel syndrome, and stamping her paw print on stacks of official White House stationery just pushed her over the edge. Ms. Myers said a lengthy note was found inside the microwave, but you couldn't read it. Sox was 9. She survived by litters both in Washington and Little Rock, and husbands too numerous to count.
It's 9:42, 18 till 10 o'clock, and I'm this morning. Just got a call.
But
About what?
don't have a minute's worth of...
Make up something.
Tell some jokes.
All right.
Figure something out. Lie.
Fine.
It's 10 minutes now till 10 o'clock. 10 till...
WFAN 2020 Sports, the #1 sports voice in New York.
Sports Radio 66, New York.
10:04, and what do you say? Howie Rose with you on the fan all the way until 2 o'clock this afternoon, which is when Mike Francesa concludes his little solo act that's been going on. I could say behind the dog's back, but that wouldn't necessarily be the truth, because I think even Mike said yesterday he was on the phone with him down in South Carolina, probably filling him in on everything that he said.
When I was a kid, Dad...
His rebuttals for when he gets back, but never mind that. That's coming up a little bit later.
And then we'll be back with Eddie and Susan. You stay with us on the fan. We got an hour to go.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
Hi, this is your captain.
With 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football. Here are the
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
And we're back on the fan. Sports Radio 66 WFAN, Richard Neer. And as normal at this time on a Saturday morning, our man. Go out to the Bronx. Support your team.
Sports Radio 66.
It's a little tricky getting my...
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
10:04, and what do you say? Howie Rose with you on the fan up until our Major League...
California Bartlett pears, so tasty and sweet.
When you want to bite of something, question light, do the right thing.
California summer fruits day.
Now's the perfect time to buy California Summer Bartlett pears, so see your grocer and do the right thing.
Happens once a year, so get 'em while they're here and do the right thing.
Brought to you by the growers of California Summer Fruit.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
10:57 on the fan. Howie Rose with you until 12:50 when we go to the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Phone calls at 718-937-6666. And we will get to the phones right after the update with Vince DeLisi.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
This is Gary Cohen. And that's what's happening. I'm Vince DeLisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
11:05 on the fan. Howie Rose with you, moving towards the Tigers and the Blue Jays. That'll...
On Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN.
11:16. Howie Rose with you until 12:50. Chris Mortensen, NFL correspondent.
Sports Radio 66, the fan, WFAN, New York.
It is 5:07 on a Saturday afternoon. I am Susan Waldman. Great win for the New York Yankees. We've got all kinds of things to talk about. That Eastern Division is just going to be a terrific race all the way down. We have about 6.5 hours, almost 7 hours before the trading deadline. Yankee bullpen blows a 4-0 lead, but the Yanks come back and win 5-4. I'll be here till about 20 after 7 when we go to Mets baseball. Mets out in St. Louis.
This is Bob Husler with 2020 Sports on WFAN, your flagship station for New York Jets football.
And welcome back to St. Louis, rainy St. Louis at Busch Stadium. I'm Ed Coleman. We are still in rain delay here for Game 2 of this 3-game series. We will advise our affiliates on the WFAN radio network of the start time for tonight's game, if indeed there is one, or cancellation. Welcome back to Busch affiliates along the WFAN radio network. Gary Cohen, Todd Callis coming up. They'll have all the play-by-play action for you. And it is now top of the hour. Bob Husler up next with all the latest. We'll see you.
The world's most 3 degrees, and that's what's happening. This is Bob Husler with 2020 Sports on WFAN, your flagship station for New York Jets football.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, where the rain is still lightly coming down, but the rain delay is over. It is 9:06 local time, 10:06 in New York on the Fan, and we will advise our stations, our affiliates.
Hello to WFAN, 34-1236th Street in lovely Astoria, New York, 11106. Sports Radio
20 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
Being involved in the
And today, Reginald Martinez Jackson enters baseball's Hall of Fame. As a New York Yankee, 5 years with the Yankees, the rest of his career with the Oakland A's and the California Angels, 1 year with the Baltimore Orioles, but it's the 5 years between 1977 and 1981 inclusive for which Reggie Jackson most would like to be remembered. Hi, everyone. I'm Howie Rose, and this week's edition of Bagels and Baseball is brought to you by the Clark Reggie Bar Company.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN.
You think you're allergic? Still easy with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN, New York.
So said Reggie Jackson when he found out that he was elected to Baseball's Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Certainly came as no surprise to him. He's the one who'd been talking about his own. Howie Rose with you. We'll take Bagels and Baseball until about 1:30 this afternoon, prior to the Mets and the Cardinals. And we continue with a tribute to Reggie Jackson, which we hope will include Reggie for a few minutes before the ceremony starts a little bit later on. However, we will talk with Charlie Huff, Chuck Thompson, who also goes in today as winner of the Ford C. Frick Award, Alvin Dark, and Vida Blue. And we'll take your phone calls in this hour, too, so come on back.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN.
You can be the flagship station for New York Jets football.
want to go out and try to get a base hit or have the joy of putting a uniform on. I think if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have played as long as I played.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN, New York.
The words of Reggie Jackson upon his retirement following the 1987 season. It's 11:07. Howie Rose with you for our special edition of Bagels and Baseball, largely devoted to the career of Reggie Jackson, who will be enshrined in baseball a whole lot more. Jay, you get back to us, all right?
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN.
temperature 82 degrees, and that's what's happening. I'm Chris Moore with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
It was tougher than it was. It was a nice week, and I enjoyed the week, but it was tough because I've signed a lot of autographs, but I haven't signed as many as I had last week. It's been tough.
12:04 on the Fan. You just heard Reggie Jackson talking about his final week of the major leagues in 1987, culminating a career that has reached baseball immortality levels. And that will be suitably enshrined today in Cooperstown.
The King of Beers presents Kiner's Corner. Kiner's Corner is brought to you by Budweiser, the King of Beers with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. And by Snapple Natural Beverages made from the best stuff on earth. Well, Ralph Kiner is in Cooperstown today. I'm Bob Carpenter, sitting in here at
5:48 on the Fan. Good evening, everybody. Ian Eagle with you till 8 o'clock on a Sunday night here in New York City. And with everything going on in sports, including Ricky Henderson, the Yankees in action, the Mets in action. Whatever's left of this Vince Coleman controversy, the story will continue. All of these... When there's two down. Happening. I'm Chris Moore with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football. Leave.
Sports Radio 66, the Fan, WFAN, New York.
6:05 on the Fan. Welcome back. Ian Eagle with you till 8 o'clock. We'll have ESPN Radio coming up for you then, followed by Costas Coast to Coast, so stay tuned. Still a lot more happening tonight on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. Of course, this day dedicated to one man, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, going into the Hall of Fame today, the 216th member of the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and he went in alone, number 44.
And here now with commentary on headline issues of the day, Imus in Washington senior political analyst Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, indeed. And thank you very much. Imus in the Slammer. A dark day, Dono. Although having suffered my own trials in Washington, maybe this should not surprise us all that much, but my condolences all the same, my man, regarding issue 1 today, as though I need remind you, Imus nailed.
What?
I heard about the whole thing. Terrible.
What are you talking about?
Very courageous, Dono. I tried that myself, I recall. Acting as though nothing was wrong.
What?
Damn it, Imo, the Washington Post. Crucified you.
No.
Just like they got me. Oh, I got the whole story. Who was it, you suppose? Woodward? Bernstein? And who gave you up? I had my Butterfield and John Dean. You've got your McGurk. And now that I think about it, your very own McCord. That stooly newsman. The bastards.
No, it's not what you're thinking.
Oh, come on. They had you on the front page. Pictures a zillion column inches. Jesus, you are dead.
No, it was a profile of this program.
Ah, yes, of course. That's how they suck you in. Just like they started out with me, remember? Calling the break-in at the
Watergate.
I know that. I know what it is, damn it. Anyway, the break-in at what you said.
Watergate.
They started off calling a third-rate burglary. And then whammo, my entire f***ing presidency's gone. Believe me, nobody knows better what you're going through. Now look, here's what you've got to do. Adopt a bunker mentality.
Right.
Clam up. barricade yourself in somewhere and just hope they don't send Janet Rito to pry you out. Now, in the meantime, I think we should pray, Amen.
No.
Just like me and Kissinger back there in 74 in the Oval Office. So get down on your knees.
I'm not getting down on my knees.
I said on your knees.
No.
Jesus, like this is the first time some guys told you to get on your knees already.
Listen, this is stupid. I was profiled in the paper on the front page of the style section. The Washington Post style section.
Wait a minute.
I'm not in any trouble.
The style section?
Yes.
Movie reviews?
Yes.
TV listings?
Right.
Personalities? That sort of thing?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's very different. Never mind. I should have reached you earlier, but, well, I was tied up.
What were you doing?
Nothing. I was just tied up.
I know, but where?
Well, actually, at Club Restraint. Tied up like a rump roast, J.D. It was great. And little leather mask, fireman's boots, the whole thing.
Fine.
You see, I'm experimenting, Ivan. Stretching my wings a bit here lately. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look, I'm out of time, but, hell, I don't care. I'm vastly relieved you're not in trouble and remain on the air in D.C. Sort of.
Yeah.
Because, well, since there's no limitation on the maximum age of a candidate for our nation's highest office, the way that goober from Arkansas has performed to this point, I might yet recover the post so unjustly denied me as the President of the United States. I do have one question for you.
What?
Could I borrow the K. Graham blow-up doll they sent you?
No.
Ass munch.
The Lincoln. Yeah. And well, there's nobody at Lincoln Computer who can do anything when he's gone. It just falls apart. Right, David? No.
Yes, you're right, absolutely right.
So when you called me yesterday when you got back from vacation, this chest thing had hit me and I couldn't breathe. So
That's why you didn't yell at me.
I couldn't yell at you about my Powerball.
Right.
So
I got your discs. They're not your. You have your discs
no, I don't.
somewhere in your house.
20 Sports.
Jackson with 4 runs batted in. There's a fly ball to center field and deep. That's going to be way back, and that's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson is hitting third home run of the game.
Chance of Reggie rang through Cooperstown. Good morning, this is Mike Breen with Sports. Reggie Jackson officially...
WFAN. Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Jets football.
It's 11:04 on the fan. Mike Lubiger with you. No, I didn't call Joe Carter last night, Rodman. What are you talking about? Did you try to get for the air? Carter is a guest for this program?
No, I don't think so.
Somebody called him and said that...
Who's on hold, Bernard?
That's Rob Bartlett.
What do you want, Rob?
Don't ever call me and ask me for computer advice again.
I know how to run my computer.
Yeah, that's why I get a phone call every night at 11 o'clock.
No, because I can't help it.
There's smoke coming out of the back. Is that bad?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the Fan.
And the idiot who sold it to me, David Teodosio, where's he?
He's golfing.
This is a nitwit with 8 earrings and a ponytail. So he keeps selling me this Apple Power book, which I'm going to throw in the...
Hey, dude, this is the one you really want, okay?
Yeah, that's him.
It's the most expensive, and you'll have to buy another one in about a week.
In the morning on the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
You think Susan's doing that? Susan's leaving her house at 5 to 7 tonight? I'm gonna get going? I mean, come on. I mean, Susan's there now. I mean, there's nobody, she's there now. Anybody can go to the ballpark 9 hours before game time and get in. How about the poor slob who's got to work all day? Can you imagine some poor slob, 5 o'clock, gets out of work wherever he works in the city, has to take the train home to Westchester and take his kid to the game tonight, and he leaves at about 6:30? Pack a sleeping bag. These people, media people are nuts. You know that?
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Jane Wallace, good Good morning, Miss Wallace.
Good morning, Don.
I'm not very happy with either you or Jane, which is the reason we asked you to come on here briefly this morning.
Coming in number 2 on the most handsome guest contest, you came in second to Joseph Kennedy II.
Well, yeah,
Have you ever seen that guy, Imus?
a guy who can't spell his name.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning on the Fan.
Forgive me, but imagine coming in second to, say, Jesse Helms or Orrin Hatch.
Which you will, too. or Strom Thurmond, Jane.
Lucky for you, we haven't booked him yet.
In the morning on the Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York.
Station for New York Jets football.
Get the Fan on. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Back on the Fan, hour 3. Nice to have you aboard. Good show here so far. We're here until 7. Mike, of course, is on vacation. Me back. 7-1.